Warning: the following content is uncensored and full of opinions. That's right, you heard me. Opinions. Oh no. We're just a group of guys who talk about what we want to talk about when we talk about it. You do the same with your friends. Anyways, thanks for listening or watching.
Welcome to Far Side of the Pod. My name's Jordan. We got Ridge,
What's up, y'all?
Mikey,
I do the intro.
and Caleb.
Who?
And like I said before, we are Far Side of the Pod. Today, we're just going to talk about some pretty random shit. Kind of touch up on some college football. Like we said, we're going to touch up on that every week until the end of football season. And yeah, so let's get into it. First topic is the football. Um, we had some pretty big upsets this week. Notre Dame lost to Northern Illinois. Uh,
Yeah.
what's some other ones, Ridge? Help me remember.
Other ones are, let me go to my list here. Sorry, it's
Oh,
almost embarrassing.
Texas beat the snot out of Michigan.
Yep,
Not
that
even not.
wasn't, I wouldn't
Kentucky
say
got
an
their
upset,
brakes
but
beat off. Did you see this
alright.
Kentucky game?
Yeah, again Kentucky. Yep.
Kentucky.
Arkansas lost in two overtimes to Oklahoma State.
Lord.
Mm.
Lord.
Yep.
Lord.
Let's see here.
There was
What
quite
other
a
games?
few.
Iowa lost to Iowa State by 1 point, 19-20.
Fuck yeah. We
Ole
like
Miss
that.
creamed MTSU.
Yep.
Yep.
Hey, Tennessee beat the snot out of North Carolina State.
That sure
God
fuck
dang
we
right we
did.
did. We sure damn well did. Oh yeah.
Oklahoma barely scathed
What a
by Houston,
yep.
16-12.
Houston
And
was
then
leading that game for a while.
the last game I'll talk about will be Florida finally got a win against Samford, 45-7.
Well, we knew they would win that game, so
Yeah, we sure
I'm
hope
happy.
so at least.
yep.
We were
I'm
very much
happy for
hoping
you,
we would at
Ridge.
least be able to win that one. And it worked out
But
great.
now, can I mention a couple of things real quick on Florida?
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
All right. So first off, hopefully they play DJ Lagway from here going forward. The man had 456 yards total passing in that game
Sheesh.
with three touchdowns. He almost broke Tim Tebow's record.
That's telling you
Don't ask
something.
for
I
it.
mean,
It's not pulled up right now, but he was very close. I think it was 20 or so yards off from it. I'm not for certain. Don't quote me on it, but he was close, but no cigar. But still, those are some impressive numbers from a freshman right there.
yeah, yeah, for real.
So, other than that, guys, I asked y'all before we got started to do me a favor and come up with a top tier coach. Because I'm still on the train of replacing Billy Napier, and I won't be off that train until we finally replace him, whether it's this year or next. But what is, other than just some random caliber names, what are some names that are top tier coaches? Can't be SEC coaches, but what are some names to throw out there? Slater, I'll start with you on it.
Well, I think one good one still is Jamie Chadwell, the guy from Liberty. I still
Has to
got.
be top tier,
What'd you say?
top tier, top tier guys.
Yeah, for sure.
Guys that are up higher than him. Who's somebody higher than him?
Well, with how they're playing this year, I wouldn't be surprised if they at least looked at Matt Nagy with how Nebraska's playing so far this year. Um, Maybe he'd be somebody they'll at least look at, in my opinion.
All
Um,
right.
like you said before, Tulane's coach is up there. Other than that, that's all I could really think of.
Caleb, top tier coach.
Honestly, I can't really think of any top tier coaches that come to mind outside of the SEC. I will say, however, that there were some strong rumors supposedly about Lane Kiffin being eyeballed by Florida.
That's
And
SEC. I
yeah,
don't want to hear it.
yeah. And I'll
But
be real with you, it's not the fact like that we're rivals with football teams. I cannot stand Lane Kiffin. Most people can't stand him.
I'm going to cut it down real quick for you. All right, that more to help you realize that it's more than likely not going to happen. Everybody out there keeps on saying it. Lane Kiffin was married to Florida Gator legend. Don't know her name, but he was married to one. Got divorced. Doubt he's getting that job because they're still a big part of the University of Florida. The woman that he was married to, she's still a big part of Florida. So I doubt the boosters are going to pay to get him in,
Right.
just because of that tension right there. Mikey, you got any names or any thoughts of the top coach?
Honestly, Ridge, I don't. I'm not very clued in on a lot of really like. I'm not clued in on a whole lot when it comes to the coaches and big names. I feel like if I even started, like if I tried to look it up right now, I'm gonna see shit like of these five, one of them is at least Nick Saban, and I don't even want to talk about that joke. I don't want to talk about that clown. So if I had all the money he did, I'd probably pay my way to fame too, idiot. Anyway, no, I don't have too many really useful comments or connotations here, Ridge. I feel like I'm kind of ignorant. So
No, you're good.
I will say
All
one
right.
thing, Ridge. I don't think Ryan Day will be on the list. Especially Ohio State's looking good like always, and they're looking better than Michigan this year for sure. So if they have a good season, I don't see him leaving.
Okay, well, that cuts out one name I've thought of. Then, what about Marcus Freeman,
Who's he the coach of?
Notre Dame's head coach,
I mean, it's quite possible.
or Dan Lanning, Oregon's head coach?
Hmm. Maybe.
There's also James Franklin, Penn State's head coach. And then, last but not least, the only other coach I can think of that actually was supposedly, from what I've heard, looking at trying to get the Florida job before ending up where he was at, Mr. Lincoln Riley.
I wouldn't be
Of
against I wouldn't be against Lincoln Riley heading to Florida. I think Lincoln Riley is a great head coach, and if Oklahoma doesn't, he's the coach of Oklahoma, right?
USC.
USC. Oh, he
He's
was the Oklahoma
USC.
coach. But yeah,
Yeah.
if USC declines even more, I think he'll be out of there.
That's all the coaches' names I got for right now. Uh, so yeah, I mean, later on, I'm sure down the road, I'll try not to always bring up head coaching names. Like I'm trying not to bring up Kathleen Kennedy needing to be fired every
We
single.
all know that. We all know that.
But a lot of us Gator fans know that yeah, nature needs to be out too, though. So that's. But I was just sitting there thinking about what are some top tier names, and that's what I came up with.
All right. Sticking on college football, so we're not getting straight into the stuff that we really want to talk about. I do need to bring up Colorado. What happened?
Ooh.
Woo.
uh,
And
That is a
I
lot
get
better.
Nebraska's on a tear, but getting fucking wiped by Nebraska? Jesus, man. Going back to last week, what I said, man. You can't just base your whole team off two players, and that showed because that offensive line, struggled. I
Oh
can't
yeah.
I can't tell you how many times Shador was running away from the offensive line, or how many times the dude got sacked throughout the whole game. Even Travis Hunter was frustrated, and towards the end of the first half, he was pissed.
Well, I mean, you saw Shadir Sanders walked into the locker room before the game was over.
Yeah, they were pissed.
I mean, that's not a good look on him in a way, but like at the same time, he didn't make himself look good on the field.
No, he did not.
He tried, but it was not even an epic fail.
So what?
And honestly, since this is his last year, right?
Yeah.
Maybe.
So I think Dion will probably leave eventually here soon.
I don't know. I
Here's,
think I got one
I
more.
feel like this is the downcline. You know,
If Dion goes anywhere, I think he'll go to the NFL.
yeah. I don't think he'll
Maybe.
stick around college. If he wants to go somewhere, he can go. He can go be like an assistant, like an assistant offensive coach. You know, he can do stuff.
I think we're calling it too soon on Dion.
I'm not saying he will leave. I'm just saying if he leaves college, if he leaves Colorado, he's going to the NFL.
Maybe.
Because there was like talks of him going to the NFL before Colorado.
There's no telling about that family. Speaking of NFL, NFL's going on now, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm getting my crack kicked in on freaking fantasy.
How do our teams do other than fantasy? Like your actual teams, how'd they do?
And my team had a pretty back and forth game. I'm not gonna lie. We won by a toe. Oh,
No.
Chiefs.
Caleb, how'd your team do?
We won. We did good. I didn't get really to watch it because work and everything, but I had everybody David. I had him tell me what was going on with it, and yeah, I hate that I missed it, but
Are you a Steelers
yeah.
fan too?
Oh yeah,
Gotcha.
oh yeah.
Yeah, y'all surprised me. Y'all came away with a close one.
We got. Well, I mean, there's talent on the team. I just feel like we tend to make some kind of poor decisions with our offensive line, especially who like we've had a couple people that I don't agree should be on the team. I'm not gonna mention names, but I still think that when Josh Dobbs was there, he got underutilized, and that kind of pisses me off because Josh Dobbs was good. I mean, he did good for them, and they just kind of did him dirty twice.
Right. Well, my
Yeah,
team's pretty good. I got the Vikings as my team, and they won. I think it was like 28-6, I believe. They had a nice clean sweep against the Giants. So we'll see how they do the rest of the year. I don't expect them to be in Super Bowl caliber like Slater's team. Slater's team probably got the best chance out of both of ours to go to the Super Bowl again. Possible three-peat, maybe. Who knows? We'll see.
It'd be nice.
Yeah. Be
Not gonna
interesting.
lie, I was a little surprised to see that the Bears beat the Titans.
Yeah, I know. That was
yeah.
shocking.
Honestly, I'm upset with that a little bit because like I had Caleb Williams as my quarterback in fantasy, and he did doo doo. I should have ran my backup for sure.
Who's your backup?
Kyler Murray.
Yeah, you probably should bring it back.
He did way better. Like he did double what Williams did. I'm benching Williams for our next week. That's for sure. I saw that and I was like, nope. I think I'm good on him.
You gotta remember, he's a rookie right now in this
He
game.
is. Yeah, he was a gamble one for me. I just didn't realize it started him.
If you look at how AR is doing right now, he's doing a lot better than what he did as a rookie. Even though he lost,
Mm-hmm.
he still looked good out there.
Well, this year is the test for him, really.
Yeah. All right, Slater. What's next on the agenda?
Well, before we go anywhere, we're gonna have to talk about Nico Yamaleava, man.
Oh yes, that's what I
Okay.
was waiting for.
Okay, so I have to get this out of the way. The interceptions. The first one was a clear mistake. Overthrew just a little bit, threw it off of him. That's fine. And he also got kind of hit at the same time, but I'm not going to try to justify it for him because all quarterbacks make mistakes. All quarterbacks throw interceptions. And the second one was never his fault. It was the line. He got hit literally as he's falling
Like
down.
full power.
Yeah,
Yeah, he was in
he
full
threw
power
as he
motion.
was getting smacked. But either way, Nico Iamaleava played one hell of a game last night.
Oh yes.
Despite all the things that, like all the interceptions and everything, Nico still threw like a madman. Let me get to the stats. Okay, so this game, this man threw 16 for 23, a 69.6 percentage, 211 yards, two touchdowns, and two interceptions. Like I said, the interceptions was a little but only one of them was really his fault. But he brushed that off and continued to play like Nico. He didn't get phased by the interceptions. He didn't get phased by the defense. At the first of the game, I thought it was going to be a little closer throughout the game, but man, our defense just fucked them up like
And the
horrendously.
funny part is they were talking some serious trash about how they were going to basically bully our defense and our offense, and
Yeah,
I was like, "Come on,
they were
you
talking
got to
about
have some
how
realistic, view on this, knowing you're probably not winning this."
yeah they was trying to say that they was going to be ready for how fast our offense is because they felt like their defense in practice was harder than our defense.
Yeah, and I was just like, "Yeah, y'all are about to. You just made the worst mistake by saying that because now they heard that and they're like, oh, you want the full gas? All right, all the
Whoa,
smoke."
hold up. Sit down. Be humble.
I telling you, man, Nico was an artist last night, man. Like he was crazy. Like he was the runs he would take off with. He had some clean passes. I mean, it was just all around great game for us. I'm glad we euthanized the Wolfpack. I can't stand them, their fan base anymore, dude. They're so toxic. Like they are so blind when it comes to players, dude. They were trying to say people that weren't quarterbacks were better than quarterbacks. Like I don't get it. But Nico played a great game. That's all I really have to say about that.
Oh yeah, let's not forget Brew McCoy. Finally seeing him back in action, and seeing Pierce Jr. being not limited really to that game, and
Yeah.
it was all overall a really really good game to watch.
No, I'm proud of
Unfortunately,
everybody.
Bama didn't lose. That was the only bad thing about the week.
All right, so Mikey, this next part's yours, and I'm gonna let Mikey take it away with the rant of the week. Go ahead, Mikey.
Ladies, gentlemen of the jury, Your Honor, what the fuck was that Minecraft movie trailer? What the Okay, real quick, I'm going to say the one positive thing I can about this trailer. If it was released 9 years ago, I'd have been hyped. I'm 24, so I'm not hyped. I. It's just, what? Why? Why does it
Yeah.
look like that? Why does it look like it was made 9 years ago? And why? Okay, I have so many questions. And honestly, not all of them are about how the sheep and the damn alpaca look. It's it's Jack Black is supposed to be Steve. We put him in a blue shirt. You're welcome. Why is Jason Momoa cosplaying as Dora the fucking Explorer?
When his door had
Like, the
blonde
last thing I want to see at the end of this movie is like, I'm Steve. I'm in Minecraft. I'm mining blocks and shit. Like, Jack, go the fuck on, bro.
Can't you see he's a man?
Look, man, we
It's,
love Jack
look,
Black. We love Jack Black in this podcast. But
Yeah.
if he did the voice of Steve, it'd be fine. But playing a
Oh
live
yeah.
action version of Steve is so weird.
Like,
just
yeah, no,
feels-
it's what an odd take. It's so weird that it's
So has
live action. Why not do it animated?
So
look.
has
It
anybody
feels
heard
like
the reasoning behind or who Steve actually is?
I don't know if there's lore. I'm sure
Man,
there's
there's some
Steve.
obviously
lore.
some like different kinds of like speculations on the actual lore, but like honestly, my real problem with it is that it's kind of like it's copying Jumanji in a way.
Yes,
Guys,
yes, yeah.
So I have an issue with that's like
actually,
very uncreative. That's very just not like I get if they're trying to pay homage to it, do it in a way where you don't like deprive yourselves of creativity when it comes to the movie. And also I agree, I think the whole thing should have been animated and I feel like I would put up with the animation on, the llama and the sheep and I would put up with that if the rest of the movie was animated because I feel like it would just make more sense. I feel like they can do a real good job, but make it look better than like Minecraft Legends.
Okay,
real
to
quick.
answer a question real quick, Steve, I don't know what kind of lore has actually been built around the character model, but it's been my understanding that from the beginning, Steve is meant to necessarily be a self-insert. He just has a name. You are Steve. You are in this whimsical world full of blocks where not everything makes sense. But hey, you mine and you craft, dog. What else is there to understand?
Okay,
Exactly.
Like, Steve was meant to be a self-insert, and the same thing goes with Alex and any other character skin that has a name. At some point, it's just aesthetic, and it's meant to be a self-insert. It's like, oh, I like this one. It looks a little bit better than Steve. It looks like he's wearing like a bomber jacket. Okay, wear it. It's yours. Congratulations, you're this dude now. Go mine and craft.
Also, let's take a second to like really be upset about the fact that the crafting table they showed and it looked nothing like the actual crafting table from the game. Not even like a really cool like updated looking version of it. It just looked completely different. Didn't match. And then also that they used like 3 sticks and something else to make a bucket. Like to me, that says they did not really do much research into anything about this game, and that it's probably a cash grab and that's not good for like video game movies, especially it's like they're taking advantage of the fact that the Mario Brothers movie did so well. But that's because it took time and it took a lot of thinking to make a movie that good, and that movie was fantastic, by far the greatest video game adaptation movie I've ever watched, and that's only excluding Sonic because I'm such a big Mario fan.
Caleb, I mean not Caleb, but Ridge, what was you wanting to say?
okay. So from what I've heard, the story behind Steve is that Steve is a guy that went into Minecraft the same way or whatever got sucked into Minecraft and has just stayed there since. He hasn't left Minecraft, so he is there to pretty much show our other characters how to survive in Minecraft.
So it's literally
So
Jumanji with
he's a
Minecraft.
pretty much
That's
he's a
cool.
human that's been in that game for so long, and he has no intentions
Yeah,
of wanting to escape.
it's
He
a
hasn't
Jumanji
figured it
remake.
out. He hasn't worried about it. So he's just
Mm.
adapted to his surroundings and is now living amongst all these other characters in there, pretty much.
That's crazy. That's ridiculous, dude.
I just, oh, I don't want
It's
to
such a
extend this
copycat.
longer than it needs to be, but I'm so upset. There's so many different things. It's not even that it's just Minecraft. You know what else video game adaptation movie they threw out as a soulless cash grab recently that a franchise that I honestly liked? Borderlands. I have a
Yeah,
Borderlands tattoo. I
yeah.
low key want to strangle somebody and kick them between the legs at the same time just to see what sounds they make and maybe make a better script than what was in that movie.
Jeez.
I it was such a soulless cash grab, and honestly, all the actors in it, I don't think it had to do anything with them. It was a poor script. None of the actors really had chemistry, and let's face it, you can't make modern. It was about Borderlands. Borderlands' humor was really there 2012 to about 2016. You know, when memes were really starting to evolve at that point and become funny and be kind of stupid but still funny. Like it was it was almost like a renaissance era of memes before we got to the brain rot that's today. But like it was funny then. That's not funny now. We have different
Yeah.
funny now. So
Yeah.
it was just a complete disconnect. And I just don't understand what's with all these soulless cash grab ass movies that are coming out for video game adaptations, because I feel like with the constant failure around, shouldn't people be seeing that this one isn't going to work?
And
I don't know.
I don't get why they are making movies to Minecraft. I mean, we already got the story mode game and everything. That's just my personal thought. And it's just another dumb video game movie that people are probably going to overhype. Then when they see how trash it is, it's just going to fall straight through. Unlike there's some of those video game movies that didn't get much hype and was actually good, but people will talk shit about it because they want to follow a trend to say it wasn't good. Like in my personal opinion, Assassin's Creed. I thought that movie was amazing in my opinion. I mean, I know there's things that not to like about it, but I still personally loved it. Then
Can I give it a bad benefit of the doubt real quick, guys?
Sure.
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Why not?
It,
Oh, go ahead.
this is meant for kids, not adults.
That is
Right?
a
Meant
that is a
for the
good point,
ones that
Rich. That's a good
grew
point.
up watching it or playing the game off the rip. This is for the kids that are playing it now. This is for the now kids, not the kids that first saw it ever open up, right? So maybe, just maybe, it'll work for kids,
Yeah.
just not adults. Is it disappointing that won't work for us? Yes. But this isn't aimed at us. This isn't targeted at us. This is targeted at children. Now, if they would have thought about it the right way, they would have targeted it at us and children, same as Sonic, same as Mario, and actually made it animated. But they didn't, and they only worried about kiddos. That's my only. That's my only slight benefit of the doubt for it.
I mean,
Is that
you're
some kids
not wrong.
laughing at it and thinking it's the best thing ever.
I mean, I feel
Yeah,
like
and
you're
then they
absolutely right in
grow up.
that.
That's all right. So, all right. So the next thing on the what we're going to talk about, and we're going to stick to the movies side, and we're going to kind of continue to question what the hell is going on with the Wolfman. Now, I ain't seen the trailer. I don't know if anybody else has seen the trailer beside Ridge, but I've seen the scare actor dressed up as the Wolfman at HHN, and I swear to God, if that's what the Wolfman looks like in the movie, then what the hell is going on?
Slater, real quick, explain to people what HHN is.
Alright, so HHN stands for Halloween Horror Nights. It is something that Universal Studios in Hollywood, Orlando, and I think Tokyo and Singapore or whatever put on. It's where they turn the Universal Studios sides of Universal Studios um, into technically a big giant haunted attraction. They have different areas called scare zones, and they have about say
Being
around
on,
eight to 10 houses a year. Me and Ridge, we do know our HHN pretty well. We're big fans. We've been a few times.
and we
Uh,
see
and
the piss out of it.
yeah, we know the lore. We know the lore for sure, for sure. But going back to the Wolfman, what the hell's going on, James Wan? And I think it's James Wan that's doing it. I think it's Blumhouse that's doing it. And I'm a big fan of Blumhouse, and I'm fucking confused on if the dude looks like this. I'm scared, and not in a good way.
In a bad way.
It's atrocious. Ridge, what are you thinking about it?
All right. Again, I'm giving it the benefit of the doubt here again. This is my theme for these trailers or these things that we are saying. My benefit of the doubt is, and what I'm hoping with the Wolfman that we see is not the Wolfman that we are getting. The Wolfman that we see is what I'm hoping is turns out to be what ends up attacking the man that goes on to become the new Wolfman, and that's just an older Wolfman. If that makes sense. Because the character, the Wolfman that they show us, looks like an old man. Looks like if you gave Hagrid meth, or not Hagrid, what's his name? Dumbledore. If you gave Dumbledore meth, that's what it would look like, pretty much.
Hey, why don't you put your name in the goblet of fire?
So, to
Sorry.
me, I'm just hoping that that was just the Wolfman passing on his his abilities to the next Wolfman, and we get something way better out of the next one.
Right.
Also,
I don't know.
go ahead.
I was just going to say, I don't know a whole lot about the Wolfman. I'm not going to pretend to be educated on it whatsoever. Um, I will say that it sounds a lot like, Wolfman, werewolf. Lycanthropy, mythologically speaking, is a disease, and the only way to turn other people into lycanthropes in order to, quote, build your pack, end quote, is to bite other people.
Right, and that's
So,
what.
so I feel like that follows your theory pretty well.
Well, in the trailer, it shows that. Well, it doesn't fully show it, but there's this guy who does get bitten while he's on a family vacation, like a cabin, I think, or something. He gets bitten by a werewolf, and he starts to get sick, and you see his teeth start falling out, kind of like a meth head, you know. uh,
Right.
but so maybe that is the case, or maybe, hey, maybe he does turn into a grotesque version of a meth head, where things are falling out of his head and everything. But at the same time, he's more so werewolf than meth. So
Meth wolf.
Meth wolf.
that just
Meth
sounds,
wolf. Coming to your local McMinn or Monroe County.
or Mason County, or certain parts of Florida, or certain parts of anywhere.
Coming to your local Mid-Eastern Tennessee small town county.
Coming to your local Quickie Mart.
I don't know. I'm kind of with you, Ridge. I hope it's from what I've seen. I was looking at my phone, watching it silently. From what I've seen, I'm kind of on board with you here. I hope it's just that like the story's actually about this guy here instead of what we just saw. But you know, if wishes were fishes, the whole town would stink. So hopefully we don't have to want in one hand and shit in the other and see which one fills up faster. Maybe we can just want for once.
That was an interesting take.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh,
I just hope it's not shit.
Please let this not be mid.
I
I,
mean, there was a couple of good horror movies this year, but there's just a few that's come out recently that was just
Doo doo.
garbage. So I'm hoping something picks up sometime soon.
let's be honest. Blumhouse hasn't had a lot of good bops this year so
No,
far.
no, they have not, and that's sad.
So we'll have to wait and see with it. You know, like I said, giving it a benefit of the doubt, gonna hold out on it. We'll see where we're at on it. You know,
Yeah.
we can always hope.
All right. So the last true topic we're really going to talk about tonight, before we get into our tier list of the week, is Linkin Park. Linkin Park just announced that They just not replacing Chester. That's what people need to get through their thick skull is we're not replacing Chester. We're just putting somebody as the lead singer so they can continue to make music as everybody loves their passion, of course. So Linkin Park just announced Emily Armstrong as their new lead singer. We're co-lead singer with Mike Shinoda. They had like a little concert the other day that was streamed, and I guess like a certain select few people got to go and watch it. But I've watched the whole performance, and I think that Emily is really good. I know there's some controversy going around because apparently she tried to back up Danny Masterson during his whole rape trial, and apparently she's like a Scientologist person, whatever, who gives a shit. I don't care what she's done in her past. I know a lot of people do, especially nowadays. That's what a lot of people, all they do is just bring up people's past. But I think that she's pretty decent, and yeah, she didn't sound like exactly perfect on the screams, but who can recreate the screams of Chester? It's hard to do. And but I think on the other parts, she sounded great. She kept up with them. You know, you could tell that it meant something to her. But I think it's cool that Linkin Park is back to making music, and hopefully I will be able to catch them live before they stop making music all entirely. Ridge, what do you think?
Do you really want my opinion, or you
Yeah, go
just
ahead.
ask?
No, be for real.
I don't like it.
That's what we're here about.
I don't like it. It's not that, you know. It's not that. It's because she's trying. I think she's trying to replace Chester. That's not it. They could have done better at picking out a female to take the vocals.
Right.
They
I
could
can
have.
see that.
I mean, I can sit here on at least one hand and tell you a few different people that come to mind.
Right.
Think of other women that have better screams than hers. Now, take it though, while I'm sitting here saying this too, it could be that they did try to go after someone that was maybe better at it, and they turned it down because they didn't want that. They didn't want that heavy responsibility. They didn't want to take backlash from the people that they knew would say something like, "Oh, you're trying to replace Chester, and you'll never be what true fans, the neckbeards of the world would say to the true fans of Lincoln Park, you'll never be what we want."
Right.
But am I upset by it? No, but I think I could have done better with their choice. Yes.
I mean, maybe down the road, hopefully we get, more of it and we ended up liking it more than we do now. But I'm excited to see what comes out of it. But I agree, there could have been better. But I think with what we got, it ain't bad. Like I like it, but it's not the greatest thing in the world, but it's not bad at all. Caleb, what do you
And
think about it? Oh, sorry, Rich.
sorry.
So, so my opinion on it is not going to be the most popular opinion, but I'm going to say it like this: she isn't bad. She, obviously in two different songs, you can tell she lets kind of her emotions get better of her, and I assume that's just because of the deep connection that she has to the music, because she, said she's a huge fan of it. Always has been. She said she would skateboard to it, if she could. And I just, I, Chester, you can't replace a guy like that. Someone who had that much, transparency. Well, not so much transparency. He just, he was like the face of Lincoln Park. Everyone knew, Chester Bennington was a household name.
Yeah.
Um, Do I think do I think that they, feel like they're replacing him? No, absolutely not. I feel like people who say that they're trying to replace Chester, they're obviously wrong, because if they were trying to replace Chester, they would have picked one of the guys on TikTok I've seen sounds just like him. Would that have been a better option if they had said, look, he's not replacing Chester, he's just he has the tone for the music that we're looking for. I feel like he would have been a better choice, personally. I hope that things do work out with her, but I feel like she gets emotional in the music, and she chokes up in spots, and she's got to learn to kind of control that, or she's never going to be able to,
Now,
you
can you
know.
you can't bash her for getting emotional. I mean that
No, I'm not bashing her for
people
getting
get
emotional. I'm
people
saying
get
she's got to
emotional
learn
all
how
the
to keep
time.
that. She's got to learn how to keep that in check for certain, for obvious reasons.
It's not about her getting emotional at all, and it's not about getting in check, because all musicians get emotional over things like the crowd singing their songs or whatever. That happens all the time.
Yeah,
But
yeah, but
what
she did have moments where I didn't really care for her vocals,
no, that part understands that we understand, but
and there's a lot of music that of theirs from the past that she definitely cannot do.
oh no, I mean
Um,
there's no way she's doing giving up. Like in my personal opinion, there's no
yeah,
way she's going
I
to give
feel
up to
like if
that.
they're gonna do music like that, especially, that they should at least find a male a male vocalist who can meet their needs for a similar voice like Chester's. That's like I said, it's going to be an unpopular opinion. I'm not saying she's bad. It's just I don't really care for it. Like, I'm not really hyped
Right.
that they're doing this, but we'll see. I said I told you earlier that I think that there was some good parts to it. She didn't sound too bad in spots. And she could work on that. But it's just like it doesn't. I feel like they should have, if they were going to bring her about and do music still, they should have just rebranded, because it's not going to be Linkin Park.
Right.
That's just how I feel about that. It just doesn't feel like Linkin Park anymore, and it feels like they should have rebranded themselves.
All right, Mikey, as a fellow Lincoln Park fan, as is all of us are, what do you think about this?
Anyone who knows Mike Shinoda would know that if someone to his face said that he was trying to replace Chester, he would punch them promptly
Yes.
in the face. It is my personal feelings and my personal belief that Linkin Park, in many different ways, has challenged the status quo of music.
Yeah.
Replacing Chester, not replacing Chester. Is she a right fit? Is she not? All of this, I think, is a moot point. If you know Linkin Park, if you know Mike, if you know the guys, especially if you knew the kind of person Chester was. Mike Shinoda worked with Chester Bennington so long. I think there's a reason he chose her. And maybe there could have been other candidates on the list that would have worked better. But it's clear she has a passion. And I would much rather see her choke up on stage because she's so overwhelmed with emotions, trying to keep up with songs that were meant just as much to her as they mean to me. I would rather see that humanity.
Yeah.
And I think that's a lot of what Chester was trying to express. Humanity in many different ways. From stages of grief to elation in the form of feeling nearly nothing to feeling everything everywhere all at once.
Yeah.
To quote one of my favorite songs of Linkin Park, this is not the end, this is not the beginning. They're never going to choose someone who sounds just like Chester, because that person will never escape Chester's shadow. And that is not something any member of Linkin Park wants, and it's something Chester would never want. That's my feelings. My feeling is that they chose her because Linkin Park intends to continue to challenge the status quo. This isn't about being the Linkin Park they've been all these years. I'm not saying that we're looking at a drastic change, but I'm saying that they're going to continue to evolve, to continue to challenge. And if this young woman is who they've picked, then I support it. It's not about replicating what Chester could do. It's not about mimicking. It's not about replacing. It's about continuing the legacy of Linkin Park and continuing to reach out and touch lives that don't feel hurt.
I think I'm with Mikey on that. I mean, it just, and what was funny enough is the song that she like really choked up on and really got emotional during was "Waiting for the End." So
That song makes me want to cry every time I hear it.
yeah, same.
I'm holding on to something I haven't got. You're damn right she is. She's standing where Chester stood.
And like Mike said during the concert, like when he was introducing the band, he said that he didn't say replacing or standing in place of Chester Bennington is her. What he said is, and in the role of Chester Bennington is us, the fans. They chose us to carry out Chester's legacy. So, like Mikey said, this is a new Linkin Park. It's not going to be like the original, of course, but at least they're back making music. It's been 7 years since Chester passed, so they had to be excited to
I
get
will
back on
say I did
stage.
listen to their new song, and I like their new song.
Yeah, I think the
I
new song's
listened to
good.
it, and I liked it.
I think only time will tell,
And
how what good of an idea it was to do this. So, like I said, I'm not saying obviously I hope that she does better
Yeah.
right,
in her
I don't
career
think anyone's
eventually.
going to believe it to any extent that anyone here on this podcast wishes failure upon any
No,
party.
yeah, we
I
don't.
don't believe that I don't believe anyone would believe that, and if they do, they're not paying attention.
Or they're just real pieces of shit.
But I think everything that's been said up to this point is a valid point. I don't feel like anything out of pocket has been said towards Lincoln Park or the young woman herself. I'm sorry, her name escapes me right now.
Emily
Um,
Armstrong, I think.
Emily Armstrong. Okay, thank you. But I don't feel like anyone said anything out of pocket. I feel like we've all made good points. So
All right, so is that it on Lincoln Park discussion?
That's
Yeah,
all.
I reckon so.
I
All right.
I don't believe I have anything else to really say about it.
All right, so for the last part of the podcast, at least for what we know now, we had a little bit of a controversial week last week when we was talking about horror movies. Um, I didn't take
Ridge is still on the chopping block of friendship, I guess.
I didn't take that good of a
It's okay.
I didn't do that good of a job at picking a list to do, but hey, we're gonna try to refocus up
My
on that
God.
right now. So,
Go on, try again.
yep. All right, so this time we're doing slasher killers. Now I'm not gonna lie, I see one on here that I cannot tell who it is, so we're gonna look over that. But all right,
Well, who is?
I can't tell who it is, man.
Well, say who it is.
I don't know who it is. Like, I can't tell. It's just a picture of him.
Oh, it's just a picture. Well, that's useful.
But we're just gonna skip
Wait,
over him,
put it on Google.
dude. I can't tell who it is. There's no way. There's no name on it or nothing.
Hey, use the Google
You can't
picture.
take a photo to your, or you can't take a picture with Google, or set a photo on Google.
Oh, hold on. Let me try it. Let me try it.
Yeah.
I think you can do it on your
Oh,
phone.
what using
I'm gonna do my phone.
using
I was about to
using
say,
that
I
like
think you can
AI
do something
cross
on your phone.
reference or something?
Let me
That
see.
way we can kind of just.
Let's see who this is. Well, that's not fucking helping. It's not pulling up what I needed to pull up. It's just
Better
pulling up.
send the photo to one of us and let us see if we know who it is.
There, I sent it to the group. It's the one in the middle, of course.
Let's see here. Whoop. My
Yeah,
new
I'm looking.
oh shoot, buddy, I cannot find your message. The one in the middle.
I
It's
literally,
upside down, I think.
I think that's the
Slightly.
picture. That's the picture it's supposed to have.
Well,
I've
it's
never.
definitely a head.
Well, no shit,
That's
Caleb.
To me,
That's
it
hard to
doesn't look
tell.
like a
You think of what it
serial
is.
killer. It looks like it was a monster that was created,
Yeah.
and so I great. Good thing we're going to overlook that, Slater, ain't
Yep, I told you. All right,
it?
all right. So I'm gonna go in reverse on this list, just to make it easy, just to change it up just a little bit. All right, so the first one, I know is probably gonna be a lower one, but it looks like it's Krampus maybe from like a off-box movie. I'd probably give it a D. It looks goofy. He looks super goofy. Uh, I can't tell you what movie it's from. It's not even from the Krampus movie. Um, I
So
don't.
it's not. It's not for. Okay. Well, what if we just say Krampus in general? Because
Krampus in
that would
general, yeah. Now
all the.
Krampus, now Krampus from the Krampus movie, I'd give him about a B.
I'd give him about a C plus.
Caleb, what'd you think?
I was gonna say a C minus. I didn't really care for it that much.
Mikey, do you care?
Um, I've not seen it, but I know what Krampus is supposed to be. Right? Like I know the story. I get the gist. I'm sure it is deathly terrifying to children, and I'm sure the movie definitely had its moments. As somebody who didn't watch the movie, among other things, I kind of feel like it's a little silly. Uh, but knowing what the slasher is, I'm gonna go ahead and give it a D because I feel like I'd be like, fat goat man, and then I'd die.
Yeah.
I'd laugh at it. I'd laugh at it before I died.
So I'm gonna just put it at a solid C since I said B, y'all said C's, and he said D.
Y'all, I know y'all don't care, but I got flies buzzing around my TV and my head, and it's starting to piss me off, and I can't get it. It don't help that lights are out, so I
All
can't
right.
see them. Where's
So
that TV?
so now the next little bit, honestly, almost all of these are fucking bangers in my opinion. Um, Next up we got John Kramer himself, Jigsaw.
Mm.
I have to put him at S, man. John Kramer is that dude. He's so smart, in my personal opinion. I think he's so ingenuitive, creating all the traps, picking the people for the
He
traps
is
that
that
reason
dude.
of. He does so much research on every person he picks. The man's got ties to the police. It's I think John Kramer's S tier.
Shadow Wizard Money Gang.
Okay, so just because I have a feeling that we're going to have a long stretch of you saying S with a lot of these,
Oh no, not
I'm going to go
there might be a
the
few
what?
S's, but I'm not gonna say all S.
Well, I mean, okay, for me, there might be about, I can think of two S tiers. I'll say that. Might not be tiers for everybody else, but definitely me.
Right.
Uh, so for me on this one, I'm going to give it a good solid A. High A for his twisted ways and for how he thinks of his craft. You know, you gotta love the effort they put into it and how you just you yourself cringe,
Right.
but can feel it yourself. You can feel those crafts. So for me, a good solid A.
Caleb, what do you think?
Uh, for a moment, I was caught in between what I was going to pick, and I've come to the conclusion that I'm going to say it's an S tier, just because it's so iconic. Like, if it wasn't for how iconic it was, it would still be an A to an A plus for me. But just for how iconic, John Kramer is, and how awesome, the series they've done is just it's crazy good. So S.
Mikey?
Okay, I based Krampus off of how scared I think I would be, in the sense of I said I'd probably laugh at the fat goat man and make a joke like I'm not getting let me guess, Cole, right? But John Kramer scares the fuck out of me. uh, if you're in the game, you've done something horrible. Do I think I would be in the game? No. If I was in the game, would I shit myself? You're absolutely right. John Kramer is a fucking mastermind. There are no other words. The man is sick and methodical in both terminologies. But I'm giving him a. It's really hard. In terms of masterminding, execution, all that, it's really hard for me not to give. It's hard to give him anything below an S because there are going to be less genius slayers on here, and John Kramer would be hard to beat. Don't let him get you.
All right, so I guess we'll put him at a low S or low to mid S since Ridge put A.
I'm okay with that.
All right, so next, and I sorry guys, but I have to do another S. It's Ghostface.
Oh yeah.
I mean, honestly, now the more I look at it, hold on, let me think more about. It's all depending on who's behind the Ghostface mask. Ghostface can be smart. Ghostface can be dumb. There's different. It's all depending on how he's portrayed in the movies and who is behind the mask. Now, I to be real, I'd give him a low S just because there's like one or two people who didn't really do the greatest job at being Ghostface. But Ghostface overall, to me, is still not being biased towards the movies. He's still smart. He's he knows what he's doing, and if he doesn't do it, it's because he gets outsmarted. But I still think he's a low tier S. Ridge, what do you think?
I'm gonna give him an A,
Respect.
and that's just because overall great. Uh, the only there are a few times where the character isn't done well.
Yeah.
Uh, a great person that's behind the mask, but overall, especially with like the original with Lillard, it's it's S. I mean, if I just based it off of one individual that played him, I'd give it an S. But due to it being the overall character in every way possible that you can think of, it's an A.
Word. Caleb.
I'm gonna have to agree with Jordan. It's definitely an S tier. But there are issues like let's just go ahead and get the big one out of the room. Billy's mom.
Yeah.
That was stupid.
I mean, I'm not saying it's bad, but to me, she's the
I
weakest link
mean,
when it comes to all the Ghostface. She only did one kill out of the whole movie, and people
her
argue and say
motives
that
were stupid.
people argue and say that she killed CC, Sarah Michelle Gellar's character, but I don't see how a woman her size could have threw another woman off a balcony like that. Um, but I mean, and her motive wasn't bad. I mean, it made sense. It was revenge. Billy was her son, but it also didn't make sense because she abandoned Billy, but now she wants the publicity and
Yeah,
everything, and that's what I took from
she
it.
did it because she was jealous. That's so stupid.
But Mikey, what do you think?
So Ghostface in general, just like the character and the moniker, right? Not necessarily the characters ranking the slasher as they are perceived throughout the movies, I guess, so to speak. Like just as a killer, not necessarily who the killer is. Um, I'm giving Ghostface overall an S minus because on one hand, iconic,
Yeah,
like that, and I love Roger.
yeah,
I love Roger. I love his work. That's just like on and style and its notoriety alone. I'm giving it an S minus. But The reason it's not plus and closer to minus is because, like John Kramer, a part of me would be somewhat at ease knowing that the thing trying to kill me is, like me, human.
Yeah. So, are we all cool with putting a S under John Kramer?
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I'm cool with that, but I do like Scream a little better.
I mean, of course, but
I just
John.
like it because it's a really really like it doesn't have to be so intricate. It's just like a really great who done it or
Like
who's doing it,
that's
or like a great
that's
who's
not the
doing.
point. We're just thinking about the characters themselves, not the movies. The characters
Yeah,
themselves.
yeah, the characters. Well, I still think Ghostface is. It's just wild how just from being crazy, how supernaturally strong they can be.
But that's the thing. It's not supernatural. So that's
So I'm saying, but you notice,
And but that does add to the
when they
terror that
reveal
yeah,
who it is, it's like they'd have to have supernatural strength to do some of the stuff they were doing.
yeah. I do agree with
but
that.
that
That's where
does
I'm
add
going.
to the fear factor in a lot of ways, gives you that uncanny valley feeling like how did you
Yeah,
do
like
it?
how did this tiny girl with this little frame of hers just like pick up a full grown man and stab him like he's nothing?
Well, but like Ridge said, if it was based off one or two ghost faces, it would be S plus. But with it not being just one or two and it being all of them, it'd have to be under John Kramer. It's still S, but it's under Kramer.
Yeah, it's still under Kramer, but
All right,
still my
so we're going to one of the OGs. Um, we got Pamela. We got Pamela Voorhees, Jason's mom. Um,
Got it going
Jason's
on.
mom.
It's
I,
bad that we all thought that.
now
Einstein, baby.
we all know that she's the original killer in Friday 13th and all that jazz, but I don't. I mean, and the woman who played her fantastic, but I'm someone who doesn't really like Pamela Voorhees. Like, I think it was kind of a she was kind of annoying to a point. I'm glad they killed her. I'm sure that's how they were supposed to play her, but even going through the older Friday 13th movies, you hear her voice throughout it and everything, and it's like her voice feeds Jason. But I don't think she's the smartest person in the world, and she's literally just doing it just because she's pissed off. Like, the random teenagers show up to the camp, and she kills them one by one, just because people like them, who were the same age, let her son die. And it's just like, ma'am, why? I mean,
I'm sure the explanation could be extrapolated to her heart fractured so deeply in grief that she could no longer determine who did and did not.
yeah.
But that's also expecting the audience to reach. So
But I think I have to give her a B. Just, she's classic, she's the OG, but she's not perfect. So I give her a B. Ridge, what do you think?
See,
What'd you say?
see,
C.
see.
Yeah, I was gonna say B minus because it's just like classic, yes, but like you said, it's not really well done. I think a lot of it was just like the script.
Yeah.
When the writing was just bad for that character. Obviously, you know, not the best idea to. Yeah, it was annoying hearing her voice a lot. I didn't like the character that much. Didn't really care for it. Didn't really care for Friday the 13th in some ways, but that one I really just did not like.
All right, Mikey, what do you think?
Pamela Voorhees herself, I'm giving a C minus. Uh, she was absolutely pivotal and absolutely necessary for everything else that followed Friday the 13th. Other than that, I don't know. It's just kind of like, I get it.
But you don't.
I get it. I get it. I
All
ain't
right, so
laughing.
I put her
But
on
I get
C
it.
above Krampus. All right, so now we're getting to some more heavy hitters. We got, and sticking to the franchise, we got Jason Voorhees himself. I'm a. I, I, I think I'd have to give it an S. Like it's hard not to. I mean, and you can even go back through the movies. Even the movies that are bad aren't bad because of Jason. They're bad because the other things that happen in the movies. Jason's always Jason. There's not a version of
Jason
Jason.
X.
There's not a version of Jason that is bad. Even Uber Jason was, even though that movie wasn't the best, Uber Jason was still pretty fucking cool, in my
Jason
opinion.
X was dumb.
But like I said, I put Jason Voorhees at S. Ridge, what do you think?
B plus.
B plus.
He is a classic. I'll give him that much. He's a classic. Uh, but he just all around. There's just some of it that I just didn't like. So, but
Respectable.
I liked, but I didn't like. If that makes sense.
Right.
So
All
for
right.
that, say a good B plus.
Caleb.
I was gonna give it an A minus. It's very iconic. They're not bad movies. It's just they're not my taste of slasher film per se.
Okay. Mikey.
I'm giving Jason an A plus because he was actually the slasher that kind of helped me ease into the slasher genre. I started watching like they all like after his mom was done in, like those like I watched the older Friday 13th with Jason
Right.
in them, and I remember being less scared just perpetually knowing that the guy in the story loses an arm, but really they dropped the mannequin arm to the floor with some like muddy red paint. And I
Right.
don't know, the cheesiness of it helped me. The cheesiness of it was very nostalgic in the way that I didn't see it as super scary and could actually just be like, oh, that's a little silly now, I guess. But it actually helped me get to the point where I knew how to understand and enjoy movies like that. That's why I'm giving Jason an A plus because he's just that nostalgic for me.
All right. So I'm gonna put him at a low A since I said S. Mikey said A, and the rest of y'all said B's. So low A.
Like like I think I have more favorite slashers now, but Jason Voorhees is the most nostalgic for me.
Yeah. All right. So on to the next one, and this one might be a little bit of a shocker to you guys, but Freddy Krueger. I have to give him an A. Though he is one of, if not one, the most iconic slasher killer, there's things about Freddy Krueger that shall not be discussed on the podcast. Uh,
Understood.
he's a horrible person. I mean, of course, most slashers are, but just for that reason alone, I have to knock him a tier. And there's not much else that's bad about him. It's just that specific reason I have to put him at A. Ridge, what do you think?
B minus.
B minus.
B minus. I mean, he had kind of intentions, but not great ones.
Right. He literally he got caught doing what he got caught doing, got killed, and now he's trying to come back just because he got caught.
It's just he's a sniffle of a character. You know,
Yeah.
cool, cool concept. I guess certain parts of it. Let's be very clear here. Only certain parts of it are a cool concept. Other than that, that's about all I got for the guy.
Hey, Caleb.
Caleb?
Caleb,
Caleb.
have we lost the
All
Caleb?
right, sorry, my freaking thing's not clicking. I was muting it because I was moving around. But what I was about to say was, excluding all of the horrendous things that he has done as a character, if that wasn't a part of his character, I would say S plus tier. Be especially the new movie version that came out, and that's just my opinion. I know it's unpopular out there. A lot of people didn't like it, but I thought that movie was fantastic. But considering him as the character he is and all the horrendous things he has done, I'd have to say he's probably an A minus for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mikey?
So I'm giving Freddy Krueger a B minus, like Ridge, because not for a lot of ulterior things other than the obvious, unfortunate parts about his character, but rather because he was never my favorite. He didn't scare me, he creeped me out more than anything, which I suppose is the point. But the burned dude in a Mr. Rogers sweater with knives for hands just didn't really do it.
I mean, he was more than that. He was a demon, technically.
Like, yeah, I get it, but I guess, at the time,
I get
I
you.
don't, I don't, I mean, I understand, just like in personal preference, B minus, but, when I was starting to come into the slasher genre and things like that, I guess I couldn't wrap my head around it. I was like, there's too much going on here. And I just kind of gravitated away from it. But that's just me.
All right. So this next one is probably going to be a little bit of a quick one because, I mean, I know we all know who they are, but there's not really much to go off of. There could be a little bit of discussion, but it's Sam from Trick or Treat. Um, I love Sam. I think he's funny. I love that Sam is technically the full name is Sam Hain, and he's technically the embodiment of the spirit of Halloween, the good side and the dark side. Um, there's a little scene in the movie where he's fighting one of the guys, and the guy's got a gun or something like that, and he just goes, "Huh?" Bah! Gets shot, and I think it's super fucking hilarious. I'll give him an A
That's probably my
minus.
favorite part of that fucking movie.
I'll give him an A minus. No, Ridge, what do you think?
So,
Yeah.
is this movie on a streaming platform?
Yeah, it should be.
Which one?
Um,
Because I want to see it. I haven't got to see it.
it's
I've
a,
seen the character a lot.
it's on Matt's.
It is
Yeah.
good. I can watch him.
Uh, Sam, he like I said, he's not really. So Trick or Treat is more like a anthological movie. I think that's what it's
Yeah,
called.
I've seen the character. I know about the character. I just haven't seen the
Right.
movie
Well, the
itself.
well the thing is you don't see him like super a lot in the movie because it's like three or four different stories into one movie.
Right.
And like I said, but the scenes you see him in, I think they're hilarious.
So,
It's almost like Chucky, but just pure Halloween and less talking.
so for me, I'm gonna give him an A because I love his outfit. I
Yeah,
love it. It's stupid to say this, especially as a grown ass man, but he is an adorable little character.
yeah, he is. Even when he takes off the burlap sack and he's got like this
Yeah,
weird pumpkin looking head, it's still hilarious and it's still kind of cute.
he's still so adorable. And if I had to get killed by that, I mean, go ahead,
I guess.
make it. I'm gonna die of cute. It's gonna be dying by cuteness anyway. So like a
Caleb.
gremlin.
Oh, sorry, Rich.
No, you're good. That's all.
Sorry. Go ahead, Caleb.
I didn't watch the movie. I haven't seen it. Um, so I can't really give a fair score.
You should.
Have you seen the
It's a good
character?
movie. The good movie's great.
What's it
Have
on?
you
Do you
seen
know
the?
what it's on? What is it on?
Matt's. It's on Matt's.
So oh, well, I don't have that. I definitely don't have the money for it right now because Amazon keeps charging me and Crunchyroll and Hulu. Ugh.
But okay, Mikey then.
I'm giving him an S rank for. Namely, I hee hawed. That sold the whole movie. That and what I liked about it, what I truly like about the character, is that it does embody the whimsical and the dark side of Halloween, and I think it does it very earnestly. The
Yeah.
people who do bad things have bad things happen to them
Yep.
until like further notice or as deemed by Sam.
Yep.
But like I don't feel like there's not a difficult motive to follow, anything like that. It's just I don't know. I like him.
All right. Cool.
He's
So
just a dude. He's just a little feller.
here's the first controversial move. I put Sam an A above Jason Voorhees.
Ooh,
That works.
All right. So the next one, this could be controversial with some people. I don't know. I don't think it will be between us. But the next one is Cujo, the dog. I have to say
what's a dog doing?
I have to say C minus because my thing is if you got a rabid dog, just shoot the son bitch.
Simple problems
What's a
cause
dog
simple
doing?
solutions.
Simple problems have simple solutions. But I mean, I get it was a big ass dog and it won't fucking stop. But I'm sure a big old shotgun shell to the head would have tuck him right out.
Sure, buckshot and 12 gauge would do the job just fine.
Yeah, it tends to make anything hit by it pretty permanently eepy.
Yeah.
Worst comes worst, if that don't do it, just go out and find somebody with a 10 gauge, and that'll definitely do the trick.
So yeah, I give Cujo C minus. Ridge.
Giving Cujo an F.
Well, there's no F. It only goes to D on this one. But
Oh, what? Sorry. Then a D.
okay then.
Yeah,
Because it's, yeah.
And Caleb.
I was just agreeing.
All right. Mikey.
Yeah.
So D for that dog in me because if I ever saw Cujo and I didn't have a gun readily available, I probably got that dog in me. He's probably disemboweling me. He's gonna be up in my
Choke to
guts,
death.
having a damn buffet. He gonna be in my rib cage like.
But he gonna be
Listen,
catching some hands though. Mm.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna be beatboxing on that dog. All right, he's gonna catch some bows. If
I was
I,
about to say,
I'm going
Ridge ain't going down. He's going Ridge ain't going down without a fight. He's gonna box jaws before I go, dude.
Listen, put a couple beers in me, I'll fight a bull. All right, I'll do that without beer. I'll fight a
Ridge
bull.
has got the dog in him in a different sense. Mikey's been dead for
Got that
3 years.
bull mentality.
All right. So the next one is probably the originator of the franchise. I mean, not even the franchise, but of the genre. We got Norman Bates from Psycho. Um, I think just out of respect, I got to give him an A. I mean, he's great. Like the movie's great. The shower scene's iconic. There's so many things about Norman Bates that make him perfect. I mean, but the thing that takes it down a little bit is the age, of course. But it is a classic. Almost all the killers on this list are based off Norman Bates, so I have to give him an A at least. The Ridge.
I can't say much because I don't really know that much about Norman Bates.
Well, you gotta look him up. I mean, you don't have to watch Psycho, but he's the originator of most of these.
Listen,
At
I
least
got
Scream
a
for sure.
lot
At least
to watch.
Scream for sure. What'd
I
you
already
say?
have enough to watch. I already have enough to watch as is.
Yeah, you do.
Even then, I don't even know if I'm going to have enough time during the weekend, especially this next upcoming month or so, which we can talk about later. But yeah,
Caleb.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it probably an A. Not my favorite movies, but it is very iconic, and all of your slashers did kind of derive from that man. So
All right, Mikey.
I'm giving him an A because Paul put in the hard work. He's the originator. Peepaw Norman Bates.
I'll put him in A under Jason. Just because we didn't get that big of a review
Peepaw.
for him, but out of respect.
Old Peepaw.
Now here's another one that most may not really understand or know, but Damien from The Omen. Kid's a fucking creep. I have to give him a B. He's literally the Antichrist. He's literally a demon. He's the devil. That dude, dirty dick, scary. But I give him a B. Go, Rich.
Chirp, 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 chirp.
Caleb.
Can't make sense.
Me? Chirps.
All right. I guess I'll put him at C because I have a feeling most y'all didn't see The Omen. I know you haven't, Mikey.
Like halfway forced to watch it at a birthday party forever ago. Also, Kelsey's best friend Haley named her son Damien after that movie.
And he
Oh God.
and he was born on Halloween. All right.
Fitting.
All right. So next one is The Creeper.
He is a good. Her kid is. Her
Yeah.
son is a good kid though.
Yeah,
The
he
creep
is. So
from
we got The Creeper from Jeepers Creepers. Um, I think he's a good I think he's a good villain overall, but the last 3 movies they did suck big ass, and that takes it way down for me. I have to give him a
Big
B.
butt
I have
cheeks.
to give him a B minus.
B minus.
I'm
Caleb,
giving it a B.
you said it a B.
Yeah, B.
Okay, Mikey.
I'm gonna give it a C for creepy. I didn't really like him that much.
All right, so
I'm definitely with you. The last 3 were wah wah, but
I'll put him at B under Freddy. All right, so the next one, this is gonna be no surprise to most of y'all, but Candyman S tier. There's no, to me, there's no negatives about the character of Candyman. Tony Todd plays him miraculously in all the movies that they do. Even his little appearance in the 2019 one was fantastic, and even Candyman, the new version or the newer Candyman, and we find out that there's multiple versions of Candyman. We're all great, in my opinion. To me, there's no negatives to the character of Candyman. Ridge,
B plus.
B plus. Okay,
A plus.
and Mikey.
I'm giving it an A. Yeah, I'm with Caleb. A plus here.
All right, then I'll put him at A in between Jason and Sam. All right, so the next we got is Samara from The Ring, the girl that crawls out of the TV. Um, I gave her a B. I think she's solid. I don't remember much about the character off the top of my head, but she is creepy as shit, and the way they leave their victim also scares the crap out of me. So, yeah,
Got their souls sucked out.
yeah, pretty much. So yeah, I give it B.
Give her a C plus. Guys, I'm just gonna throw us out here, especially whenever you got a guy like me. Don't tell me about a girl character that sucks the soul out of you to leave you dead. Don't sound right to me. That don't sound like a scary movie. That sounds like a movie I can find elsewhere. You
When
could
I
make.
find out that Ridge has found the tape, I'm not gonna go looking for him.
Nope.
You can make that into a scary movie. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, no, don't just give me more detail or something that, or don't give me those details at all. Uh,
So,
other than that,
and
just from what I know of that character, again, a movie I haven't seen, but a character I know. So C plus.
so Samara is a girl. She technically fell down a well and died, but
Yep.
I guess her parents weren't that greatest to her either. So it's kind of like curse thing. I can't, like I said, it's been a while since I watched the movie, but good movie. Caleb, what do you think?
Yeah, I was actually going to give it an A minus. Those movies do creep me out a lot. She's a very good uh, horror, antagonist, but like at the same time, you kind of feel bad for her. So it's not
Yeah,
like horrifying for me. It's not as scary as a movie I'm certain is probably on this list.
right.
So, and you probably know what I'm talking about. I'm just not going to mention it until it shows up.
Okay. And Mikey?
Uh, Scared the daylights out of me coming into the franchise. But once I kind of figured out what it was about, other than, wait, I don't understand. Why is this creepy lady coming after me? Why is she in the TV? Once I understood more of that and what was actually going on, I kind of learned to appreciate the movie and become slightly less scared of it. I'm gonna give it a B plus.
Okay. So, uh, I guess I'll. Caleb, what'd you give it? An A minus?
Think so, yeah.
Okay. I guess I'll put her in between Freddy and the Creeper. Um.
That's a good spot for it.
All right. The next one, I feel like
Maybe not put that poor girl between Freddy and a creeper.
this
Oh
is
my
fucked.
god. Oh
Just
god.
Oh,
the
okay,
thought
all
of
right. Demonize me. I see how it is.
just just the
I'm
thought.
thinking of a poor I'm thinking of a
Oh, the
poor possessed
timing.
cursed girl,
No,
and y'all are just
okay.
like, damn, Mikey. All right, I see
Okay,
y'all.
no, the reason why
I see
I
y'all for
laughed,
real.
reason why I
Oh,
laughed was
I'll remember who my friends are.
the reason why I laughed was the thinking of the character of Freddy and the writer of
mm.
oh
Jeepers
god, yeah.
Creepers.
Oh, okay.
Let's not
And
go
I
there.
then put
regret
her in between
everything.
it.
I
Yeah.
regret everything. Moving on, please. I regret everything.
All right.
Oh,
I repent for my
All right.
sins.
All right. So this next
Uh,
one, I feel like this next one is probably gonna be almost unanimous in my personal opinion. Uh, Chucky, Charles Lee Ray, S tier. There's no, I don't have to discuss it really. Ridge.
S
Yep.
tier. One of my favorites. Uh, I mean, and listen, to be honest, too, one of my favorite movies is one that some people dislike, and that is The Bride of Chucky.
Yeah. Well, mine's
I've
Seed of
seen
Chucky
that movie
personally, but
so-
but I agree with you though.
on your favorite.
Yeah.
Nice. There's just something about a little bit of the comedy side
Yeah.
to it.
Yeah.
Just made it to me that much more fun to watch. Don't get me wrong, I enjoyed all the other movies. I haven't finished watching all the TV series, but from what I've seen of Chucky, he's a great character.
Yeah.
So, S tier.
Caleb.
yeah, Bride of Chucky was my favorite. I'm gonna go with as just by the character. I'm gonna say A plus.
Okay. Mikey.
I'm gonna say S tier because "Assault and Batteries" is one of my favorite songs by Ice Nine Kills. But other than that, Chucky is really a pain in the ass slasher to deal with.
Yeah, he
And that's
is.
not just his size. That's just like speaking in general. Like, yeah, I get he's the size of a doll, but like knowing his entire kit, knowing his ultimate motives and everything else, he's such a pain in the ass to deal with.
Yeah. And honestly, the more you think about it, he could technically be one of, if not the most evil person on the whole list, because he's literally just a serial killer who used voodoo to put his spirit into a doll. And if that doll gets destroyed, he can transfer his spirit into other dolls. So yeah, he's the new leader on the board, boys. Chucky is now
He's
the
a
top rated,
rat bastard.
but it's rightfully placed. The next one we have Reagan from The Exorcist, aka Pazuzu. Lord protect me. I hate saying demon names, but yeah, I give her an A just for the fact, one, literal demon, two, for the time that it came out, scared the holy shit out of the whole fucking world. I mean, when you literally had
It did do that.
when you literally had
It did indeed.
when you literally had preachers sitting outside the movie theater doors to pray for people and causing people to have miscarriages and people throwing up, passing out, having heart problems. Yeah, no, there's on a whole real level, she's fucked. But it's not as scary, but it's still kind of like it gets to you. I'll give it an A plus. Ridge,
I'm gonna give it a good solid A.
yeah,
Yeah, I
Uh,
was the same with you.
just because of the fact, yeah, demon. Uh, again with the whole, it's okay. I'm sitting here thinking of something else too at the same time that's kind of ironic that we'll get into here shortly. I think. Go ahead,
okay,
Caleb.
Oh, I was gonna say A also.
all right.
It's a great movie. It's the new one. I haven't watched it. Um, but the old one is definitely creepy. Those are the type of scary movies I do like the most, just because those are actually terrifying for me. And I'm gonna have to give it a good solid A, just because for its time it was very well done, especially for it to have had such an effect on people.
All right, Mikey.
So I'm actually going to give this an S because this is my most disliked form of horror.
Yeah, that movie
And
sucks.
the reason for that being is because for anyone who doesn't know me personally, I live in a paradoxical existence in more ways than one. I know it's real, y'all, but
Yep.
I don't think it is.
Yeah, no.
I can't make that make sense to anyone, but I can in a single sentence.
As someone who's
Anything
seen
you
somebody,
give power to has power, and that goes towards anything. If you think money is the end all be all, congratulations, money has power in your mind. So, I know it exists. I don't think it exists. And by my logic, it can never hurt me.
as as a Christian and as a paranormal guy, I've seen with my own eyes in person somebody get exorcised. Not like full on style you see in the movie, but I've seen someone who had a spirit attached to him get prayed for and blessed and literally watched the spirit leave the man's body. It was wild. And that people was taking pictures and you can literally see a black mask coming out of his body and a white mask going into his body. Yeah, no, this there so Reagan is now at the top of A, and that's understandable in my opinion. So next we got Jack Torrance, Jack Nicholson from The Shining. Um, I mean, I believe he's classic, of course. I have to give him a mid, probably B, just a straight B. He is scary, but he's just a guy who technically got possessed in a way. I mean, he does have one of the most iconic lines in cinema history. Here's Johnny, but he's just a psychopathic guy, which half these people are, but he could have been dealt with pretty easily if you had the right stuff. Ridge,
C plus.
C plus. Okay.
He's decent. You get where he's coming from, but it's like, dude, just go outside and touch grass for a minute. Quit trying to write your book novel. Go touch grass and come back here in 30 minutes. You'll be fine.
All right, Caleb.
Yeah, I'm with y'all. I'm gonna say a B plus, just because of the how iconic it is that is one of Jack Nicholson's great roles. The movie The Shining is really good.
What'd you say? You said B plus.
Yeah, I'm gonna say B plus. I really like the movie. It's not my favorite style of horror, but it's very, 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 very good.
All right, Mikey.
I'm giving it a flat B because I recognize how iconic it is. It's not my favorite Jack Nicholson role. I think he's performed much better in different roles. Um, but I do find myself quoting "Here's Johnny" fairly often.
All right,
But
so
I give it a flat B. Not to say that The Shining itself is bad, but rather just
yeah.
the character itself. B.
All right, so we got Jack Torrance at B, in between Samara and the Creeper. All right, so now we got Jaws, the shark from Jaws. Um, I would have to say C plus because unlike Cujo, you can't do much with a shark. Yeah, you could do something, but it's not going to be as effective with a shark versus a dog. Yeah, there's not much to say here for me. I mean, he's iconic. He's one of the most iconic, but I still give C plus. Ridge.
C plus.
Yeah. Okay.
Solid C.
Mikey.
I'm giving it a D. You guys, it's really easy. Homer Simpson taught us how to deal with existential threats in the water. We get 100 bug zappers and we just throw them in the water and wait.
All right, so I'm gonna put Jaws in between Krampus and Pan Voorhees. All right, so next on the list, and I feel like this will probably be unanimous as well. Pennywise, the Dancing Clown, S. From fear, like scare factor, to abilities, to reason, he's an S tier. I mean, yeah, once tell him that he's not shit, he gets but he's still scary. I give him an S.
Yeah, but you gotta real like I mean realistically, how much you gotta talk yourself up to get to that point?
Right. You gotta be fed the fuck up. All right, Ridge.
A plus,
A plus. Okay.
because whenever I think about Pennywise, yes, the new movie is there, or new movies, but as a character as a whole, you also got to think about the old movies, and the old movies to me wasn't as great.
Right.
So it's a good A plus for me.
Okay. Caleb.
Uh, I honestly don't know how if I could rate that one.
You've not seen it.
I mean, I have. It's just like it's a tough one for me. I want to say S, but I also want to say A solid. So I'm gonna give it a A plus.
Okay. Mikey.
Um, in terms of character, I I'm gonna give it an S here, but one of my I would be I excuse me. I'm giving it an S, and I'm about to tell you one of the defining reasons which I'm giving it an S, though I really shouldn't. Based on this, I'm giving it an S because I love the line "Yippee ki yay, motherfucker!" Oh, I love
Yeah.
that. That made me hee haw. Yippee ki yay, mother! His jaw just drops and his eyes roll back. That was.
All right.
But
So
no, I do think Pennywise is perpetually terrifying. So but I give it an S. It's hard not to.
all right. So I put him at S, but below Ghostface. So next up we got Pinhead from Hellraiser. I give him an A plus. I would give him an S if he did stuff on his own terms, but he only does stuff when the boss calls him. And for the Leviathan, um, just because
I do as the box commands.
if he was like most of these killers and did things on his own terms, he'd be an S for sure. But just because he isn't the one in control, I give it A plus. Ridge.
Uh, Sorry, this is taking me a second to think of how I want to do him.
The bots.
That's so wrong.
We come.
I'm gonna say B minus.
Okay. That's respectable. I understand. Caleb?
I'm gonna say solid B. I don't really have much to say other than that. I feel like that's a really good score.
Okay. Mikey?
I'm gonna give it a B here because I think he's iconic, but I can't think of much else that I particularly like about the movies or him himself.
All right. So I'll put him at low A under Norman Bates. Um, this one could be almost unanimous, but um, Hannibal Lecter from Silence of the Lambs, I give him a solid A. Main one thing because he's so iconic when it comes to like Anthony Hopkins killed it as Hannibal Lecter. Um, he's smart, one of the smartest people in horror. But when it comes to him, he's just a guy who likes to eat people, dude. He could be took care of pretty easily, in my opinion. But he is smart, so he could outsmart you. So who knows? That's the scary part about it. So I give it a solid A. Ridge.
B plus,
Okay.
just because I don't know too terribly much about the character, but at the same time, I know of him.
Okay. Caleb.
Mm, I'm gonna give it an A.
All right. Mikey.
I'm gonna give Hannibal an A plus for his devious genius.
Okay.
Like he's just, I don't know, he's a brilliant mastermind, and I think that's one of the most terrifying things about him.
All right. So I put
Just
him at.
how intelligent he is, all that.
So I put him at A in between Candyman and Jason. Um. So next we got Leatherface. This could go back and forth, but
It will.
basing Leatherface as just the character, I have to say S because Leatherface himself is not the bad parts of the movies. He's a fantastic character. He's creepy. He's strong as a ox, dude. I mean, I think he's just mad. I give him an S minus.
My
Ridge.
turn.
Yep.
My Okay, good. I'm gonna give him an S plus. Like I said before, that was my that was my introduction really into watching horror movies in the theater. That was my go to. Oh, I really like this dude.
Right.
And to build off of what you said, Slater, slightly with the strength thing, he's got retard strength.
Yeah, he does.
You
He,
gotta remember,
That's fact.
this is the only, as far as I know, this is the only slasher villain, whatever you want to call him, that has Down syndrome.
yeah.
That's insane to think that no one else has done it since then, as far as I know. Had somebody with Down syndrome be a slasher. Now, the actual person that played the character, no. Would that kind of be cool? Yeah, but at the same time, I don't know how well that they'd get away with that.
Right.
It'd have to be more so a person with Down syndrome would have to be, pun intended, down with doing that role
Right. Okay.
and be cool
Right,
with
right,
it.
right, right, right.
Yeah.
Huh?
But
Yeah.
just in general, absolutely love everything about that character and the fact that he's actually based off a true person
Yeah.
who would skin people alive to wear their skin and to make decorations with their skin. Yeah, I'm giving that S plus.
Yeah, Caleb.
Yeah, I'm going S tier based on just how iconic the character is, but like you're right, he has that insane strength, and it's just like you know, if you remove you know the couple of movies that weren't that good, the whole series, even some of the originals for me, are really good. Some of the better ones, especially for slasher films. So yeah, I'd say probably an S tier for me.
All right, Mikey.
I'm gonna go with A plus here. Um, the movies are good. They're petrifying to think about because the idea of someone being skinned really makes mine crawl. um, other than that, I played a I played as Leatherface quite a bit in Mortal Kombat X, and once you found the right groove, it was infuriating to put up with if you were on the receiving end.
Okay. All right, so I put him at S between John Kramer and Ghostface.
Gotta tell you something real quick that's coming to my mind whenever I'm thinking about Leatherface.
Yeah.
Sure.
I think it was the one that what was that, back in 2018? No. When was 3D?
It was like 2014, 2013 ish.
Okay. So I believe it was that one where we we get to see him sitting down with the face they's putting on,
Yeah.
and he has this little needle with what looks like
Hair.
not necessarily like yarn or anything, but it's like twine almost, maybe some hair in it too. That's thicker, like a rope,
Yeah.
going in his cheek and out, and
Oof.
he's sitting there sewing it. Oh, that was great to watch
All
in the best way possible.
right, so we only got two more left, so let's get this finished.
Two more.
Two.
Oh me, I think we're missing something.
We are, but we'll honorable mention them. So the next one we got is the Xenomorph from Alien. I have to give the Xenomorph, just for my personal belief, A plus. It's close to being an S, but there's some soft spots. But the Xenomorph is super scary, super strong, super fast, and dude, here's another thing. And honestly, I'm gonna say S minus because of this reason. So the original ending to the original movie, right? So we know in the end of the original movie, uh, Ridley pretty much blasts the Xenomorph into the space. That's it. Well, in the original movie, we're supposed to hear Ridley's dialogue like we did in the original cut, but it was supposed to turn out where the Xenomorph is holding Ridley's severed head in its hand and it's mimicking Ridley's voice. And it's talking as Ridley, and that's who's saying the final dialogue to the movie. And to me, knowing that a Xenomorph can mimic people's voices, this fucking scares me. Even more than it already does. So yeah, I'd say S minus. Ridge?
I'm going to say for what it sets out to do at A. It's a sci-fi horror movie. Uh, the character himself is great. That's all I got for him.
What'd you say for the grade, though?
A minus.
Okay, I'll give you that. Caleb?
I'm gonna say solid A. And that's coming from a guy who's like a very avid fan of the Alien Isolation video game, especially. I mean, you make a small noise, and just like in the movie, and that thing is on you. Like, I mean, it's terrifying. It's a terrifying creature to think about. So, a solid A for me.
Mikey?
Disgusting, horrible, nasty, icky. I hate it. S.
Alright. So I'll put the Xenomorph in A, in between Sam and Candyman. All right, in the last one, and if you know, you know, I gotta put him in S as S plus plus probably, and that's Michael Myers. Not basing it in any movie, not basing it off, just the bad movies in the franchise. But Michael Myers himself is, to me, the most pure evil slasher killer. He doesn't really have a drive. He doesn't really have a motive. He just fucking does it because he wants to. And going off with what you said about Leatherface, that that strength, boy. He's another character though. He's not got Down syndrome. He's got some problems. Uh, the man, he's just a normal human being. Yeah, there's movies where they made him supernatural, but thinking about like the newer trilogy and the original movie, he's just a normal guy. But dude, you can shoot him up, cut him, gash him, stomp on his head, do whatever, and dude still gets up and just keeps going. Like, what the fuck? Dude's like 45, almost 50, and still doing this shit. Like, oh no,
Yeah,
no, he's like
yeah. In some
he's like
movies, he
almost
was
60.
literally.
In the newer
Yeah, in
movies,
some movies, he was literally possessed, but for the most part, he is figuratively possessed. He refuses to stop.
technically in the newer movies, he's technically like 60 something. So like, and still taking them hits. Though getting up slower, he's still taking them hits. So yeah, S plus. Ridge.
Giving him an S. He's also a really good one I enjoy watching. I enjoy his kills that he's had in movies, especially in the 2018 one. One that sticks out to me is whenever he goes into the home and has a light bulb in his hand.
Oh, that's in Halloween Kills.
What
Yeah,
is it?
yeah, because he shoves
Uh,
the light. Well, it's easy to get confused because it's technically takes place in the same night. So,
yeah. What was the what kill am I thinking of then? And that might all. I might
well,
just be.
are you thinking about in 2018 where like it was that shot where he's leaning into the person's window and it stays on the window and he goes around the house and comes through the back door and as the woman's looking out of the window, he grabs her by the back of the head, smacks her head on the couch and stabs her in the neck. That kill was pretty gnarly. But you're right. That light two kill that he did in Halloween Kills was brutal. And
Yeah.
as the woman's just laying there bleeding out, he's in the background just grabbing a different knife, looking at it, and stabbing the dude in the back. Grab a different knife, look at it, stab a dude in the back again. Then he finds the perfect one. He's like, okay, and walks away. That
Homie was cleaning his palate.
He's just fucking Michael Myers is the OG in my opinion. He to me Michael Myers is the standard when it comes to slashers. And that's just me. Caleb.
Yeah, he's S tier, S plus for sure. Actually, for me, just because you're right, he is definitely the standard for when it comes to slashers. Even though I'm more of a Scream fan than I am a Michael Myers fan, I am a massive fan of Call of Duty Ghosts and the fact that they brought in the DLC with Michael
Yeah.
Myers, and I was just
Oh,
like, I had so
yo,
much fun
yes,
with
I
that.
remember that.
Had so much fun with that.
And so Michael, what do you think of Michael?
Well, I think speaking for all Michaels who don't take themselves too seriously, Mikey Likey, that's an S plus right there.
And we have a
Thank you,
winner,
guys.
folks. Michael Myers is the winner of our ranking, technically. Which it's not, it's not a surprise, but anybody willing to hear our top five?
What's up?
Sure.
All right, so Far Side of the Pod's official top five. Oh, hold on, I'm gonna add one more person into the S tier before we get in there. And instead of saying top five, I'll just say all the S tiers because they're the top ranks. But one honorable mention that has to go in the S tier is Art the Clown.
Oh yeah,
And that's not.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not saying that just because we met David Howard Thornton, but Art the Clown is just funny. He's scary. and he's technically. I mean, we don't know exactly yet, but he's a demon, dude. Like literally. But
Well, also let's take into account that I feel he's going to end up being an extremely iconic horror figure
yeah, I
for
mean,
like ever. Like he is going to be immortalized by this character.
yeah. But all right, so we all agree with S tier with Art the Clown.
Yep.
Yes.
All right, so technically I'll have him in the middle. So this will be our official ranking when it comes to our top tier slasher killers. So at number 8, well, at number 7 we got Pennywise the Dancing Clown. At number 6 we got Ghostface. Um, at number 5 we have Leatherface. At number 4 we have Art the Clown. At number 3 we have John Kramer. At number 2 we got Chucky, Charles Lee Ray. And number 1 we got Michael Myers. What do y'all think about that list?
Sounds good to me.
I was about to say it sounds like a solid list to me.
Yep. And like we said, people, this is our opinion. And though we all each had different opinions about most characters, we respect every single one of these characters on this list. Maybe not Cujo. Sorry, Cujo. And maybe not Krampus. Sorry, Krampus. But,
I ain't that sorry.
no, not really. But other than that, this is our list. And if anybody don't have anything else to say, that's the end of the podcast.
Well,
Yeah.
hold on.
Uh-oh. What'd you got? What'd you got?
All right. So first off, we missed a few different slashers.
Oh, okay.
Still, I think we should be able to count in that category Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
They're a classic clown crew.
Yeah.
Now, take it that I'd probably throw them at A to A minus range, decent
Yeah.
A. So you got them, and you also got um, Predator.
Yeah,
We talked
Predator.
about the Predator,
Oh,
and
I'll have to put in one more. John Carver from Thanksgiving. Like that guy at least deserves to be in there in my opinion.
I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
and you throw in Happy Death Days.
Yep, Babyface from Happy Death Day. I mean, there's a lot of slashers that was left off this list, but they wouldn't be S tier in my opinion.
No,
But respects to them. We ain't gonna name all of them because there's so many, but they deserve to be on these lists too. But yeah, anything else, guys?
also,
Oh,
uh, sorry, I keep on coming up with the last second thoughts. Uh, we are coming up on haunt season.
yep,
The haunt that I am going to be working at is opening up not this weekend, but the weekend after on the 21st. So if you want to come out and see a top ranked haunt, by the way,
yep,
it has different top tiers over the years of being a top known haunt in the nation and in Tennessee, like in the top 5 category. Come on down to the Scream Chamber in Athens, Tennessee, and get yourself scared.
yes, sir.
I'm in there. What I was thinking was ironic was how we was talking about the Exorcist character being an actual demon, and I was sitting there today too because I myself am a believer in God,
Yes, sir.
and it just so happens that I work in the haunted house on Friday and Saturday, and the church on Sunday. And also, my character that I have in the haunt, unfortunately, to a degree, to a degree of unfortunate circumstances, out of my control, I guess, to an extent. My character has a pentagram right on its head.
Oh well.
Yep. So I'm sitting there.
In a haunted
That
house, in a
with me.
in a haunted attraction that's actually fucking haunted.
Yeah, the house that we're in too is haunted, and there are ghosts there. So it's forgive me for what I am wearing. I'm going to still scare the piss out of people, and that's my goal is to make people throw up and piss themselves, and maybe crap themselves too. But I'm sure we'll be talking about haunts here coming up, maybe on our next episode. We might go into some paranormal stuff.
Yeah, it's that time of
We
the year.
might even talk about your boy having the experience of having a demon exercised out of himself.
All right.
So
Yeah.
make
So
sure that y'all are following along. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. You can like it. You can leave a dislike. I don't care. You can leave a bad comment. I don't care. I'm not doing this for y'all. I'm doing this for my own enjoyment and enjoying hanging out with these bros.
yes, sir.
So
Yes,
on
Yes,
that,
sir.
sir.
on my end, deuces.
All right, everybody else. Anybody else got anything to say?
Yeah, I guess I got one quick thing to say. Just not to wholeheartedly follow up on Ridge's haunt thing, but to just make a quick point, which is Ridge is absolutely right, folks. Haunt season is coming up, and with haunt season comes Halloween and many other things, colder weather, night sooner, all that stuff. We here at the far side of the pod would like to give you a friendly reminder. Please keep an eye on the people you love during these seasonal times. It
Yes.
gets darker sooner, and it's a wild world out there. With as much connectivity as we have today, it seems like some are inclined to grow more unhinged and more psychotic and more harmful every day. All we want is for any common person, anybody, anywhere to be safe, to have a pleasant time, and to go home at the end of the night. So keep an eye on yourselves, keep an eye on your loved ones. Always be aware of what's around you. Have a plan. Be safe. That's it.
And remember, Halloween is about having fun. It's about kids having a great time dressing up as their favorite characters and honestly getting to make memories with your friends, families, and strangers, honestly, but do it in a respectful and a safe way. Uh, yeah, Caleb, you got anything to say?
Yeah, I agree with what y'all said. But I do want to throw out an idea. Possibly, I'd like for us to add in towards the spooky season when we get into October here very soon. I'd like for us to each either come up with or find a scary story to read at the end of the podcast or at the beginning, depending which, or even tell a scary story or a scary life experience.
Okay,
I feel like that'd be an enjoyable thing to do for the spooky season.
word. All right, so is that all, everybody?
I believe so.
All right, like I said, hit the like button, hit the follow button. Oh, follow us on social medias, I mean, and hit the bell. Share us out.
Subscribe.
Just share us out if you enjoyed it. If you made it this far, we appreciate you for listening, and we're far side of the pod. Have a good night, guys.
Good night.
Peace.